My team identified 3 cases where we saw state violence at funerals for people killed in protests. We started to see these viral images of people openly mourning at protests for the loved ones that were killed by the state. Previously, family members were often really pressured by security forces to keep the deaths quiet. As I was covering the protests and monitoring them, I saw really early on that there were examples of open mourning. It seemed that in and of itself was a revolutionary act to, show your loved one's funeral and be really adamant that they were killed by the state. We had a little over 20 cases and dozens of videos that we looked through before we were able to establish exactly which cases we would have a better shot of getting eyewitnesses and have a better shot of being able to verify from beginning to end. And everyone we spoke with had to be anonymous, from the eyewitnesses to the staff attorney, because of the pattern of how state forces will go after family members of people who speak with reporters or, at all tangentially related to the incident. There were dozens of cases that we looked at. We didn't by all means publish everything, but these 3 were the ones that we focused on. This is a map showing the Haji Ibrahim Cemetery in Javan Rud. It's in the Kurdish part of Iran. And this map shows where the security forces were. They were preempting a gathering of people who were mourning people in the town that had been killed at protests. Once we had everything mapped out and knew the location, we started to look for physical pieces of evidence in each video to match it up. So for example, in the cemetery video, we kept seeing security forces lined up on a wall. So we continued to look for a wall in any other pieces in satellite imagery or other secondary forms of information to match it up and make sure that we felt confident that the videos that eyewitnesses told us were filmed at the cemetery actually were. So verifying each piece of visual evidence really depends on the story. With this specific case in Camiran, we had a bit of an advantage because our eyewitnesses told us which cemetery it was in what town. So right from there, we had a starting point. What really stood out to me was speaking with one of our sources at the Iranian Human Rights Documentation Center, and he said, they're sending a message that we won't even let you rest when you're dead.